back to Notre Dame football. Time now for the Charlie Weis Report. Brought to you by Chevrolet, the official car and truck of Notre Dame Athletics. Here's Westwood One's Chris Castleberry with head coach Charlie Weis.
And the kickoff is fast approaching between number 1 USC and number 9 Notre Dame here at Notre Dame Stadium. Time now to welcome in Irish coach Charlie Weis. And Charlie, your squad is currently 4-1 on the campaign. You had a bye last Saturday. How did you and your team spend the time off?
Well, it seems like an eternity since we played, but we worked on fundamentals and techniques last week and tried to get a bunch of people healthy and try to get some backups ready to go. And then this week we used the extra day to spend an extra day on USC.
Charlie, with everything that's going on so far this season and with the Trojans looming, did you welcome the off week, or would you have rather gotten right back onto the playing field, especially after the victory 2 weeks ago over Purdue and West Lafayette?
Well, there's pros and cons. You know, obviously football players and coaches are creatures of habit and get used to a weekly schedule. But I think that any time you have that extra week, you have to use it wisely. And I think that we were very efficient using the extra week.
Charlie, all 4 of your Irish victories have been on the road. Your one loss was actually at home against a very talented Michigan State team. You guys are obviously not lacking in the confidence department at the moment. But do you believe that your team believes that it can prevail this afternoon here in South Bend? Where is that confidence level?
Well, I think that they believe that they can win this game, and I think that says it all. I mean, I think part of the problem when you're going against a team as talented and as good as USC is you have to believe you could win the game, because if you don't, then you really don't have much of a chance.
Well, Coach, you've told us each week during the season, and a lot of coaches say this quite frankly, that you're just focusing on one game. It's just another game on the schedule. But realistically, honestly, is this the game that you want more than any game on that schedule?
Well, it's the next one, so yeah, that would definitely fit. But the bottom line is they all count the same. You could say with in the eyes of all the alumni, that USC has always been perceived as the biggest rivalry. But that'd be slighting Michigan and Michigan State and Purdue and all those other traditional rivalries that you play each week. Hey, I know I'm not undermining the ramifications of how big a game it is. I understand how big a game it is, but I think that you set yourself up for emotional highs and lows if you try to put too much weight on one game.
And how do you, though, keep your team to understand that you have to keep it in check? This is obviously, this game to me has a feel of the Florida State game in 1993, the build-up to this game. Are you drawing off of something like that?
I'm not talking about 1993. I'm just worrying about what we've done this year and what USC's done this year, and gone back in years prior to some teams that have had success against them, and when we've played against them. And that's my base for all the research I've done.
Okay, Coach, heading into this one this afternoon, you've got to be pretty pleased with where your team is, especially offensively. Can you kind of give us a report card on Brady Quinn, Darius Walker, Samardzija? I mean, you got some good weapons there on your side of the football as well.
Well, I'd say that we've been solid in every position on offense. I think the play of the offensive line, the play of the tight ends, the play of the wide receivers, the play of the running back, and the play of the quarterback, I'd say that I wouldn't give anyone a lower grade than a solid effort, because that's what I think that we've gotten in the performance of them at this point.
Are you asking your team, and maybe this is a little bit too specific of a question, but are you asking your team to play nearly a perfect football game today?
I think that you have to play the top of your game to have a chance of beating a team like this. I think that has to be the expectation of everyone here.
The talk, obviously, over the past couple of years has been the explosiveness of USC's offense led by Matt Leinart, with so many other moving parts and weapons. What is your defensive mindset in trying to deal with that offense?
Well, pick your poison. I mean, you can't stop everything. You could sit there and say, well, we're going to take away the pass and let them run it. Well, those two, they run for 300 yards a game. You go up there and try to stop the run, well, they throw it for over 300 yards a game. So when a team's averaging over 600 yards of offense and it's balanced like it is, I think you're just going to have to play a very good, sound, fundamental game, because if you try just to stop one, they'll kill you with the other one.
Charlie, perhaps one of the criticisms of SC so far this season has been maybe their slow start in a couple of football games. Is that something that you're telling your players and maybe hoping the Notre Dame home crowd will get on them early and maybe Notre Dame can attack quickly in this game?
Oh, I don't think that they're going to start slow this week. I think that what they'll do is go back and look at their last 3 games and realize what they did in the second half is what they should do to start the game. I think that, they've basically gone down to their bread and butter and to start off the second half, and that's what's, get them not only even, but pulling away from all their opponents. So I think that they're smart enough and well coached enough to realize that that's how they'll come out. We're going to have to play 60 minutes to have a chance to win this game, and we can't put any more emphasis in the beginning of the game as we would the second quarter, third quarter, or fourth quarter, because we need to play the 60 minutes if we're going to have a chance.
Coach, what about the leadership aspect of this? On the field, I would assume your captains out there, Brady Quinn and Brandon Hoyt, you're going to rely on those guys an awful lot?
Yeah, and we do. I mean, those 2 guys are really the heart and soul of our football team. Brady has definitely blossomed into not only a frontline quarterback, to a frontline leader. And I think that sometimes as a junior, not a senior, sometimes you're afraid to take that responsibility. But he's taken it and run with it. And Brandon is obviously the heart and soul of that defense. And I think that everyone feeds off of his energy.
Okay, Charlie, the Irish faithful want to know, so it's time now for the Chevrolet Keys to the Game, brought to you by Chevrolet, the official car and truck of Notre Dame Athletics. Coach, what are the keys to an Irish victory over Southern Cal this afternoon?
Well, I think the most important thing in this game is we have to play for 60 minutes. I think that if you let up at any time against this team, that you could find yourself behind in a hurry. So I think we're going to have to start fast. I think we're going to have to try to go wire to wire and play well for all 4 quarters and never take the pedal off the metal. And the second thing is, obviously, this game could come down to turnovers. And I think that whoever takes care of the football the best usually will probably have the best chance of winning the game. And last but not least, I think that we have to feed off the energy and feed off the energy of the crowd, and don't make it a distraction, but kind of embrace it, because I think that the energy of the crowd could be a determining factor in this week's game.
Coach, good luck this afternoon.
Thank you very much.